Yeah. We're going to discuss the Agri Fair. We're going to have some gospel music. We're going to have some health and a lot of things in there. So you'd like to stick and stay with us.
On, undocumented migrants that, it became topical this week, right?
Yes,
so we're delving into it and more, bringing you all the angles there is to this particular story. And of course, sports. What's a Sunday morning without a little agenda,
As always, the show is live and interactive, so do send us your WhatsApp messages, concerns, birthday messages to the WhatsApp number 0204-447-033. 0204-447-033.
Amazing. All right, so you know what? Somebody told me something this week on Tuesday, and I've been thinking about it the whole time. The person was like, closed mouths don't get fed.
Okay.
And the whole time I've just been thinking about it. I'm like, it's interesting because a lot of the time, people have opportunities, right? People stuck or people walk into opportunities, but they are unable to really see the opportunities because they are afraid to ask, right? So I don't know. But this morning I just felt like maybe, just maybe, to all our lovely viewers out there, people should be wanting to talk more. People should, in the talking, there should be sense, right? But make sure you ask. If you don't ask, you will not get and you will not receive. So find a nice way to ask. Make sure you're asking with purpose. Make sure your asking is in line, with your values and your principles. But ask, don't keep quiet and hope that things will just come your way. So always remember, this really nice message someone told me about closed mouth not getting fed. And I'm sure it'll be better for it as a people. But later on the show today, we'll also be discussing the Agri Fair.
Yes.
We'll be discussing the Agri Fair. And, for me, yesterday on Breakfast Daily Weekend, we spent some time, looking at what it is, the idea behind it, what will even be at stake. Today on the show, we'll get to go into details, right? And I got a couple of messages from people yesterday asking me how they can be a part of this. I was surprised by the level of interest, already. People thought it was just like a talk shop,
Oh, no. That's not all that it's going to be.
It's that and more, right? So later on the show today with Frema Edunyame, head of events and partnership at Channel One TV at City FM, we'll be delving a lot more into details on this. And if you are interested or you want to be a vendor, will show you how to go about that particular process. Is there anything else?
No, I think we can go straight into the online portals. I have channel1news.com opened. Some of the stories you'll find: continue current fiscal monetary path to sustain city gains. Inusuf Hussaini urges government. Tobu hails GIS for bold crackdown on street begging. Smart formalization will speed Africa's economic growth. That's according to Baumia. Togo hands over notorious robber behind Accra's high-profile robberies. No excuse not to reduce prices, cuts international tells Guta AGI. Trending stories you'll find on channel1news.com. Accra to host third AAWP Festival on May 22. That's the All African Women Poetry Festival. I'm sure Apioco will be interested in that story. Street Children Coalition demands multi-agency approach to foreign beggar crisis. Revamp tour cuts fuel imports, COPEC tells government. COPEC demands immediate fuel price reduction at pumps. Former Gabon President Ali Bongo relocates to Angola. And yes, those are some of the stories you'll find on channel1news.com. The one is the digit one.
And on citynewsroom.com, over 8,000 chip-embedded passports delivered nationwide since April 28. Also here, NDC MPs urge swift action to address doomsaw in constituencies. They spoke to our colleague Nyaikwe Okine in Peduase during the Parliamentary Select Committee on Energy's engagement with stakeholders. Some other news: the MPP Deputy Director of Protocol has been speaking, and he says rebuild party structures before picking 2028 flag bearer. Notorious robbery suspect captured in Togo extradited to Ghana. Prof. Isumin, who is an economist at the University of Ghana Business School, yesterday on the big issue said shift to domestic financing to support long-term stability. Inusa Fuseni, also on the CD, says the gains made by the CD is driven by fiscal monetary alignment. And in the eastern region, all 33 MMDCEs confirmed. Finance Ministry, BOG synergy yielding good results. That's coming from the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana's Executive Secretary, Samson Awingobet, who, by the way, loves our show a lot. You know, he watches our show.
Yes, he does.
Awingobet. Dada KD, I'm sure you know him.
Very unfortunate.
Did you like his music?
I did. I'm trying to remember. I was listening to one yesterday. Murphy.
The sad news is that he passed, on Friday.
Yeah, and I heard he had a couple of shows lined up in the UK and in the US.
Yeah.
I mean, he did one in Birmingham in the US, but unfortunately, he was unable to make it.
Yeah, so his manager has been speaking, following his demise of that Arcadian. He says he was doing well before his demise. And two quick stories, then you bring us the next online portal you have. There's a surge in mentally ill persons on Accra streets, and it's raising safety concerns. That feature is on citynewsroom.com, and also here, streets begging crackdown to extend beyond Accra, and that's coming from the Interior Minister Mubarak Muntaka, who's also a member of Parliament for Asawase. I always say it in a funny way. You correct me.
Today you've done well.
I've done well today.
Yeah, today you've done well.
Amazing.
I'm on graphiconline.com. Some of the stories you'll find. AMA boss engages street traders ahead of decongestion exercise in Accra on May 20. Bawumia warns against tariffs as solution to trade deficits, calls for macroeconomic reforms. Migrant beggars crackdown will be a nationwide exercise, Interior Minister assures. Technician jailed 5 years for stealing electric cables. Farmer 42 sentenced to life for murdering pregnant wife. Breaking the silence on corruption, empowered residents demand accountability in northern Bono Ahafo regions. GHS take measures to check Mpox outbreak. Migrant beggars removed from streets. Notorious armed robber sentenced to 120 years and life imprisonment for murder and robbery in Kumasi. President Mahama gives dancer money. Clarifies it's 500 Ghana cedis, not dollars.
What's with this whole thing about government, always wanting to give money to
you
people?
You can't give money to somebody anymore. But it's something that we do in our culture. When they're dancing,
cultural.
they'll come to
it's
you
cultural.
and then you give them something or you throw it on them. So yeah, allow.
Except that the one in the can, that one, I don't know which part of our culture it belongs to.
But that one,
anyway.
Especially when they see people at such few events, they always, throng to the person to demand for money. That's all the omuka. Anyway, Ghanaian pilgrim dies while performing Hajj in Makkah. President renominates 4 MDCEs for Greater Accra. SGF calls for support to train next generation leaders. UK trade envoy Ribeiro Adi visits Ghana to strengthen economic ties.
That was the graphiconline.com.
Yes.
And GNA, .org.gh is one of the oldest, media outlets in the country, state-owned. Some of the stories they have here. Mahama announces plans to upgrade Accra Regional Hospital to teaching hospital. The Office of Government Machinery Entities must work in Ghana's interest. That's coming in from the Deputy Government Spokesperson or Presidential Spokesperson, Shamima Muslim. Greater Accra Public Lands, government to set up Commission of Inquiry. And finally here, crime prevention must be the bedrock of modern policing. That's coming in from the Chief of Staff, Mr. Julius Debra, as he urged the Ghana Police to prioritize, crime prevention. UG debunks claim of overstating employee compensation by 59 million Ghana cedis. There's a story that got a lot of people talking on social media, actually. Member of Parliament for South Dairox, Nelson Dafiamekpo, took on the university's management after the Auditor General's report indicated that some 59 million cedis was spent, in overstating employee compensation at the University of Ghana, Legon. And finally here, UN demands global public pressure to get aid deliveries into Gaza. You have any other one before I do some brief international headlines?
You can go ahead.
All right, BBC. Hamas proposes releasing some hostages in fresh talks after new Israel offensive. Doesn't look like the war will be ending anytime soon. Trump says he will call Putin to discuss stopping Ukraine bloodbath, and those are his words. 2 dead in Mexican Navy ship crash into Brooklyn Bridge. And also here, fatal blast near Palm Springs in the U.S. It's a fertility clinic, and the FBI is describing it as an act of terrorism. And very finally, CNN also talk about the former security advisor to Trump's arrest following his weird social media post. And I'm referring to Mr. Comey. And yes, they also talk about a terrorist attack at the fertility clinic in Palm Springs, California. And there's a story about the South African issue going on right now, with regards to the U.S. receiving, refugees, Afrikaner refugees, following the issues there. And they're saying, where's the evidence? CNN anchor presses DHS spokesperson on claims of genocide on white South Africans. And these are some of the big foreign stories, at the international level.
Right. I think we can delve into some of the stories. Okay, I'd opened this story on Graphic because it broke on Thursday that Mpox, 2 individuals had been confirmed to have Mpox. Have you ever seen?
I thought you had finished this thing some time ago. It became very topical.
Yeah, I think the beginning of the year.
Yeah, it'd be like a few years ago, right? Monkeypox, and it was like a whole frenzy, Then
just
I think
last year.
Last year or last 2 years? I'm not too really sure. It was last year.
Yeah, last year.
Wow.
Getting into this year.
And this year we are back again at it.
Yes, we have 2 individuals who have been confirmed, 2 confirmed cases of monkeypox in Accra. In the Accra metropolitan area. So the Ghana Health Service is advocating that we readopt or adopt the COVID-19 protocols, the washing of hands, sanitizers.
It should have never gone in the
masks.
first place.
Well, people weren't really excited about...
But the wearing of face masks, right?
Yeah.
The strict protocol adherence...
still wears his snooze mask.
Well, people who have underlying conditions and are not really clear, what
exactly
you are inhaling, in this part. But I feel like they're very strict, approaches of, you have to wash your hands before you enter any building, right? There was this Veronica bucket there, the soap, even when you enter the building, there were like hand sanitizers, after using. Can you imagine going into like a public bank and using the pen? Or you go to the Accra Metropolitan Assembly using the pen. Can you imagine the number of people
who have used that
pen before
I try and avoid those things. I always have a pen with me that I take to the bank.
There's only a limit to which you can avoid it.
And no matter what, I will never give you my pen.
If you are going to Parliament to use job 600 in the elevator, or you say that you will bring your own...
You can use your pen to press the thing.
Well,
press the buttons.
Yeah.
If you want to, live strictly, you can.
You can't. So when you pick your Uber, if you pick an Uber, you clean the seat before you sit down.
If you pick there's a Lysol spray, antiperspirant spray. Not antiperspirant, something. Disinfectant. So when you're done, you can get up and spray yourself. But say if you want to live...
It is borderline. It is borderline OCD.
It's not OCD.
I'm telling you,
it's not
OCD. How frequent it becomes, takes you to the.
You're taking care. OCD. I saw this video on IG. The woman comes back from work. She takes off her wig and puts it in like some disinfectant something. I'm like, hey, this is a new level.
No, people are trying
she
to
sprays everything, her shoes, her bags, cleans everything with sanitizer and disinfectant. And I'm like, wow. I hope she never falls sick.
Well, people are trying to, keep up with, like, making sure that they are their hygiene at a very immediate level is, is really spot on. But trust me, the way our system is very communal, right? Yeah, there somebody can just come in, he's sweating, you can hug you, from behind. Then the sweat and everything, but we grew up like that, right?
One thing I loved when we were going through the whole COVID period was the fact that we wouldn't greet at funerals. Is one thing that I do not like, because I don't know where your hands have been. So anytime I'm greeting somebody, in my mind I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait till I finish and I can use my sanitizer.
It's cultural. It's also very cultural, right?
So that was one of the things I loved during the whole COVID period. So so the Ghana Health Service is advocating that, wash your hands, use hand sanitizers. If you see somebody with rashes that you are unsure of, as you stay away from the person until they find out exactly what it is. And such people, if you're experiencing certain headaches, unexplained rashes, things that you can't explain, just go to the nearest health facility and you will get tested. So some of the symptoms include rash, fever, headache, muscle aches, back pain, low energy, and swollen lymph nodes. So if you're experiencing any of these things, please go to the nearest health facility and get tested for an mpox. So it could be anything, and at least put your mind at ease. So 2 confirmed cases within the Greater Accra region on Thursday. Everybody should be aware and be guided.
A notorious armed robber suspected to have been involved in numerous crimes has been captured in Togo and is being extradited to Ghana, or has been extradited to Ghana. Story by Charles Owusu Kumi. The Ghana Police Service, in collaboration with the Togolese police, has arrested a notorious armed robber suspect, Adina Akpo Abdu Mujibu, alias Mohamed Janjo, from his hideout in Togo following the issuance of an Interpol red notice. The suspect, believed to be behind a series of high-profile robberies in affluent Accra neighborhoods such as East Legon and cantonments between 2022 and 2024, was arrested by Togolese authorities on January 30, 2025. He was handed over to the Ghana Police on May 12, 2025, under a regional cooperation agreement signed in Accra in December 2003. Speaking at a press briefing in Accra on Saturday, the Director General of the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service, DCOP, Lydia Yako Donko, confirmed the arrest and the extradition of the suspect. The story goes on to say that she explained that the suspect primarily targeted high-profile individuals residing in elite communities including East Legon, cantonments, Rage, Tesano, Airport Residential Area, and Adjering Ghana. So great news coming in, kudos to the Ghana Police Service and of course their Togolese counterparts, and hopefully our society, becomes more safer.
Doesn't this remind you of Atai? Except this one, I never heard his name. And when I heard it on radio, was it this morning or yesterday? Adina, I thought it was a female. So, hey, what a hardened criminal. And then the alias came. I was like, okay. Wow. But yeah, kudos to the 2 of them, Ghana Police and or is it CID? Yeah. And their counterparts in Togo. They've done a yeoman's job. Very, very good.
I know.
Yeah.
The city has become topical.
Yes, it has.
In recent weeks, also or largely due to the performance, right?
Yeah.
So moving from like 15 as of the time this government was handing or leaving power to 12.3 in the space of about 4 months, and everybody's like, what is really happening? A lot of people feel that, it is as a result of global, happenings. So US-China trade tariffs, right? The whole world trying to move away from the dollar, and as a result has weakened the dollar, and we are seeing the ripple effects being that the city seems to be gaining grounds. In fact, there was a CNN report that said that China had increased their export by 8% in the aftermath of the US-China, trade war. And, so many things. But the truth also of the matter, according to, analysts, currency analysts within the space, is that if you look at the performance of the cedi, it's not only against the dollar, right? It's also against the pound, for example, and even the euros, other world major trading currencies. And comparatively, within our sub-region, if you take the CFA, if you take the Naira, if you take other African currencies, you know, comparatively, the cedi seems to be appreciating more and more against the dollar. So, well, it could be, or true, it could be as a result of global factors like the tariffs war that's currently ongoing. Hopefully, we find an end to that soon. But, you know, this government and its communicators have sought to make the point, and in fact, I've even heard the Bank of Ghana through the deputy governor, Dr. Zakaria, you know, talk about the fact that it's also as a result of deliberate efforts by both monetary and fiscal policy handlers, you know, to drive growth, right? So they are saying, well, you can credit all that's happening outside for all you want, but you also can't discount the fact that there's a prudent management of the economy. Yesterday on the show, on Big Issue, it was a big conversation. Dr. Kabiru Mahama, who was Bawumia's special aide on the economy, you know, was here, and he's a finance guy.
That it's things that they put in place before they left government that has accounted for the cedi.
So they are quick
well.
to cite their Gold for Oil initiative and all of that. You know, and like I was saying, Dr. Kabiru is a technical guy. He was a technical advisor on the economy to Bawumia, who was a supposed economic messiah, right? And, you know, he made an interesting comment on Big Issue yesterday. He said that with the greatest of respect, you know, with all that Kiselato Forson as finance minister has done in the last 4 years, anybody at all as finance minister can do it, right? So, you know, he sought to make the point that it wasn't like some wild Forsonomics was at play, but it was just, you know, everything aligning for this government, you know, global, local, just all coming together. However, his opponent or his
friend on the other side,
friend on the other side, Inusa Fuseni, had different views with regards to the performance of the cedi. And this story is beautifully captured on citynewsroom.com with the headline, "Cedi's gains driven by fiscal monetary alignment." Inusa Fuseni basically saying the finance ministry, the central bank, you know, are now working together. There's some, you know, synergy. You know, very brief excerpts of the story read. Former Member of Parliament for Tamale Central, Inusa Fuseni, has attributed the recent strength of the Ghanaian cedi to the effective coordination of fiscal and monetary policies under the Mahama-led administration. Speaking in an interview on Channel One TV's The Big Issue on Saturday, May 17, Mr. Fuseni emphasized that a notable improvement in the cedi's performance is not merely the result of external economic conditions, but rather the outcome of deliberate policy alignment by the current government. According to Mr. Fuseni, while external factors such as the global market dynamics affect the entire West African sub-region, other currencies in the region, including the CFA, the Nigerian Naira, are not performing as strongly as the cedi. And he goes on to talk about the fact that the cedi's performance, you know, has got a lot to do with, you know, work being done here by both the finance ministry and the central bank. So interesting perspectives, you know, depends on which side of the divide you belong to, really.
I always say that, yeah, it's appreciated, but we're not feeling it at the market. And I agree with Cuts International here, telling Guta and AGI that there's no excuse not to reduce prices. Because, Jude, you and I were in this country. When the cedi went up, they immediately increased their price. They didn't even wait for the new stock.
It's the fuel one that even kills you. The fuel prices, they go up before they
before everything else.
You know, the fuel prices go up before you even see that the exchange rate has gone up.
So, you see, when the cedi depreciates against the dollar, they increase the prices automatically. They don't wait for new stock. But this time they're telling us that, they have to follow the trend and see what's happening, and then blah 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 blah. Oh, come on! Right now they've given themselves 60 days or so. So the story here from Cuts International on channel1news.com. No excuse not to reduce prices. Cuts International tells Guta AGI. Apia Kusi Adomako, West Africa Regional Director of Cuts International, has slammed Guinean businesses for refusing to adjust prices in favor of consumers despite the recent appreciation of the cedi against the dollar. Speaking on The Big Issue on Channel One TV on Saturday, Adomako accused businesses of taking undue advantage of weak consumer protection structures to profiteer at the expense of ordinary Ghanaians. Weak consumer protection structures. That's something that every government needs to work on, and also pricing regulations in our markets, because it's annoying when you move from one shop. This one is 10 cedis. You go here is 15. You go here is 12. You go here is. They're pricing it in their own way. So there should be some form of regulation. It's
unbelievable,
There should be some form of
But
regulation.
to be fair, I listened to Awin Gobet on the same show, who's with the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, and he makes the point that prices are coming down.
Are they?
According to him, at the ports, right, the prices are coming down. But we don't go and buy things from the port.
No.
So we can't. Very briefly before we go, there's a terrorist attack in the U.S., right? And Palm Springs Fertility Clinic targeted an explosion that has left 1 dead and 4 injured, all the way in California. At least 1 person is dead and 4 others injured in the Palm Springs, California explosion outside a fertility clinic. Akeo Davis, the FBI's assistant director in charge of Los Angeles field office, said on Saturday. And the FBI is working to confirm the identity of the person who has died. And the FBI director said in a news conference, he described the incident as one of the largest bombing investigations we've had in Southern California. Rather unfortunate story. There should be no place for terrorism, in today's world, and hopefully they're able to conclude on investigations on that matter.
On that note, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we have more for you.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel One TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery, this is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. Come one, come all. Enjoy the freshest farm produce at unbeatable prices. And treat yourself to sizzling kebabs made from beef, mutton, pork, chicken, and more. Great taste, great value. Don't miss out. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel One TV with support from 97.3 CDFM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, and Development Bank Ghana. Have you ever thought about the work input before a movie comes out? It's a whole lot.
Frema, please. You know my heart belongs to you. You know you're the one destined for me.
And you did that.
The fact that you appeared when you did appear was a divine intervention. This was meant to happen. It was a test of our love.
This week, we bring you a little closer to seeing the work that goes on behind the scenes and help you better appreciate the movies and films you've been watching. To help us do this is one of Ghana's best in the filmmaking industry, Peter Sedufia.
The fun is letting the whole world see a certain narrative through your lenses, you know? Yeah. What I'm telling you is what you believe.
Join Frema Edunyame and Nanetufo this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt on the Upside Down Show. It's gonna be super exciting. Don't miss it.
Some movies change the world.
and you'll find them elsewhere. Mnet Movies 4 is just in it to change your mood.
Great.
They turn an ordinary night into something
Awesome!
make you laugh louder, smile bigger, and feel like a kid all over again.
Yay! This is gonna be so much fun!
The only thing our movies are seriously serious about is making you happy. All month long.
Ah!
On Mnet Movies 4 for the easy, cheesy, silly, funny, snort laugh classic movies of your life.
Poverty makes you do what you otherwise would not do. Wealth makes you live the way you wish to live. But revenge cancels the lines between poverty and riches.
It's either you're saying something progressive, or I'll just tell your wife that I'm carrying your child.
Where is my father?
Now that he's coming closer to the community,
My puppy go forget your own plans, so I go forget my own.
We want to bless the name of the Lord. The Bible says that for his good and his mercies endure it forever. The other day David said that if it's not the Lord that has been on our side, it's just by his mercies and his grace. For you are great. You do miracles so great. There is no one else like you. There is no one else like you. For you are great. You do miracles so great. There is no one else like you. There is no one else like you. Yeah. You deserve the glory and the honor. Lord, we lift our hands in worship as we bless your holy name, 'cause you deserve the glory and the honor. Lord, we lift our hands in worship as we bless your holy name. For you are great. You do miracles so great. There is no one else like you. And there is no one else like you. For you are great. You do miracles so great. There is no one else like you. There is no one else like you. Father in heaven, how we love you. We lift your name in all the earth. Oh, may your kingdom be established in our praises as your people declare your mighty way. Oh, Father in heaven, how we love you. We lift your name in all the earth. Oh, may your kingdom be established in our praises as your people declare your mighty works. So blessed be the Lord God Almighty, who was and is and is to come. Blessed be the Lord God Almighty, who reigns forevermore. And blessed be the Lord God Almighty, who was and is to come. Your name is Jesus. We honor you and we give you all the thanks and all the praise. Almighty, who reigns forever, and blessed be the Lord, who reigns forevermore. And hallelujah, my God, hallelujah. Yeah. And blessed be my God, the one who reigns forevermore. Oh, hallelujah. Yes, Lord. Hallelujah. Every hallelujah belongs to you. Blessed be my Father. You alone, you reign forevermore. Hallelujah. And hallelujah. The one I love is ever before me. He seals upon my heart. I live for the one I love. The one I love is ever before me. He seals upon my heart. I live for the one I love. Oh, my Jesus is ever before me. He seals upon my heart. He seals upon my heart. I live for the one I love. Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah. Oh, oh. We praise you, my God. We praise you. Oh yeah. Oh, oh. Praise you, and we praise you, Yahweh, 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 oh, oh, Yahweh, and we praise you, we praise you, you are Yahweh. 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 Alpha and Omega. Alpha and Omega. You are Yahweh. You are Yahweh. Alpha and Omega. You are Yahweh. Alpha and Omega. Yeah, you are Yahweh. Yeah, you are Yahweh. Yeah, you are Yahweh. You are Yahweh. You are Yahweh. Alpha and Omega. Yeah, you are Yahweh. Alpha and Omega. Jesus, you are Jesus. Achinkwawu nawu yohin. Ampa achinkwawu nawu yohin. Ohin ampa achinkwawu nkuto achinkwawu nawu yohin. Ampa achinkwawu nawu yohin. Ampa achinkwawu nawu yohin. Ampa. We've searched all over. Achinkwawu nawu yohin. Ampa.
Amazing, Stanley, amazing. How are you doing?
I'm great.
You know, all the time you come on here, you know, to join us on Sunday. When you come, you're always in the, you're always on the fire. You're always in the fire before you even start.
Glory to God.
Amazing. How's it been? You know, since we last spoke.
It's been great. It's been great. God has been good. By the grace of God, I just finished with my program on 23rd March. By the grace of God, He's gifted us with some songs, and we've been able to record them. So it's been amazing so far.
Wow. How did the program go? Which program was this? And
that was Newness. It's a program that I organize by the special grace of God every year. And this year's edition also came on
at the Apostolic Church.
At the Christ Apostolic Church. Christ Apostolic Church, yes. Osu. So it's been an amazing time. We had God's people coming in to bless His holy name, to worship Him. And it was good in God's presence.
Amazing.
Yes.
And at that concert, right, or at that administration event, you recorded some new songs.
Yes, I recorded new songs. I recorded about 4 new songs by the grace of God.
At the same time?
Yes, please.
Wow,
yes, please.
4?
Yes, 4 new songs.
Interesting.
I did same last year, and by the grace of God, some are out. We are looking forward to bring out one of the first recordings from this year's event around July, somewhere July. We should be expecting to hear something from Stanley and the team. Yeah.
Amazing. And we'll be glad to hear it for us ourselves.
Glory
and also
to God.
Help propagate it.
Glory to God.
It's very important.
Glory to God.
So that's 4 singles, right?
Yeah, 4 singles.
When are we hearing the EP of the album?
All right.
It's our time, right?
Yes. We are looking forward to do something right from the beginning of July. Yes, right from the beginning, from somewhere 1st July. We are looking forward to do something. Yeah. So God willing, yeah.
So your concert, Newness, is it like an annual program every year that you plan on doing?
Yes, it's an annual program that I organize every year, every single year. It's an annual program.
Finally, how's the feedback been, right? Because in the year under review, you've mentioned to us that you've done the Newness program, which you didn't invite us, but it's okay. You know, and now you're planning on releasing 4 songs, right? I'm sure some of these songs you ministered at the concert.
Yes.
How's the feedback been? Like, you know, I know it's a very difficult terrain, especially as a gospel artist.
Yeah.
But talk to us about it.
It's not been easy, and but one thing that has kept us, or one thing that I know, is that once God has graced you, He finds ways and means to provide for you. So God's grace comes with His own provisions, and it's not been easy, as I said, but by God's grace, I mean, everything is going well. Everything is going
amazing.
well.
And we can't wait to see the full, manifestation of it, in its due time.
Bless God.
Amazing. But finally, for those who are watching and they really want to jump on your music, where can they find Stanley Nartey Ministries and music at?
Amazing. To anybody out there who wants to follow my music, they can subscribe to all my socials. I'm on Apple Music. I'm on Audio Mac. I mean, on all the digital platforms. I mean, anytime we release the songs or these songs that God gives to us, we release them on all the digital platforms. So YouTube is Stanley Nartey, IG is official Stanley Nartey, TikTok, we are on TikTok as Stanley Nartey, we are on Facebook. We are everywhere.
You are taking all the platforms for Christ.
We are taking it for Christ.
Amazing. So guys, that's the word out there. Stanley is going to continue to minister, to serenade us. He's mentioned the socials. You can jump on, listen, edify yourselves. And like I said, it's only a matter of time. In the fullness of time, we'll see this really amazing career blossom to greater heights. So it's not too early to jump onto the music and enjoy it for yourself. Stanley, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the honor. Thank you so much. All right, let's go to church. We want to dance to the glory of God. Hallelujah. So wherever you are, you can pick your handkerchief and join us. Come on. Well, let's do this. Prana minyama why you in sada adumre nyawuri mabe oh why you in sada achinkwe nyawuri mabe prana minyama oh why you in sada adumre say and you man I'm into Asamena minsa, asemena minka, adumre. Nyabudi ma bedui, yenkrana minya mao. Why you in Santa, adumre. Yenti and you mena mintu, asamena minsa, asemena minka, adumre. Why you be yo? Nyabudi mi. Never cry. Why are you in Santa? Adonai, King of kings, Lord of lords. You are the greatest in the world. From the north to the south, oh my God, there is no doubt. From the east to the west, oh my Lord, you are the best. I will lift up your name. Come on, say, King of kings, Lord of lords, you are the greatest in the world. From the north to the south, oh my God, there is no doubt. From the east to the west, oh my Lord, you are the best. I will lift up your name. Come on and join us. I will lift up your name. Higher, hey, higher, great Jehovah. You are wonderful. I will lift up your name. Let's do this one. He says, it's a more heno, come on, Kobe. Shinka won't go Gileano. Jeme wamo le fecho. Hey, Inyela bon samfi mon bonipiana. Shia hoye wale na wo bafene. Iwole wo babo she kalolo kashiako kanjo bele yi. I do it again. Ke won here ke wo se.
Yetamoyeno kamoko be. Shinke wankwego jile ano. Cheme wa mole show. Every other help. Enyela bonzafi mo wanibiana. She oe wale na wa bafene. He wale wa babo she kalolo kashiako eh kajo bele. Oh, I know you know this one. One joy, abba, one joy, one joy, while I check by your shida, what cafe, one joy, oh, one joy, one joy, while I check by your shida, oh, say me casa obintia sia, me soria obintia sia, Masai obintia sia, Stanley, minkuna minim ya menya, mi sansunim ya mato, yetina menya ji, oh, say me casa obintia sia, me soria obintia sia, Masai obintia sia, minkuna minim ya menya, mi sansunim ya mato, yetina menya ji, and he says, Iti munchami, mami ngosumi ho, mami nadami ho, nami sapemi ho, natunyum nanyina, minim ya menya, misansunim ya mato, eti na menya ji, eti munchami, nami ngosumi ho, nami nadami ho, nami sapemi ho, matunyum nanyina, eminyamenya, misasunim ya mato, etina menyachi, hallelujah, Yesu dini moja na tomi, wama menyani kwa jenubi. Menya, minimo, entina menya chi, Yesu dini moja no, Yesu dini moja anatomy, wama menya ni kwa chinubi, minimya meho, entina menya chi, wama menya chi. Wama mi watom, mi hunya minka, mianka min seshi, wama ma sebi, aye yire, ye wayo, na yama so, wama menya cho, wama menya je, wama mi watom, mi hunya minka, mianka min seshi, wa mama sebi, oh, aye yire, ye wayo, na yama, oh, koto je, yes Lord, hey, bakutu, and say, Tetremena, Bekanse, Irade, Oyora, one more time, Kotoche, my God, hey, Bakutu, Tetremena, Tetrema, hey, Bekanse, Achadi, say, Irade, Oyora. Oh, Oyora. Koto Chenina. Koto. Come on. Section Bakutu. And everything. Say, Tetrama. Everything. Oh, back and say. Irradiate. Let's do this. Oyora, Ajani. Oyora, Mecca Senya Miye, Mecca. My God, say Mecca Senya Miye, Mecca. I will declare Mecca Senya Miye, Mecca. Mecca, oh, Mecca Senya Miye, Ukawa. Kebi say Mecca senya miye, oye, Mecca senya miye, oye, Mecca senya miye, Mecca oh, Mecca senya miye, Mecca senya miyo, Mecca senya miye, Mecca. I will declare Mecca senya miye, Mecca, eh. Mecca senya miye, Mecca, oh, Mecca senya miye, Mecca senya miye, Mecca senya miye, Mecca, oh, Mecca senya miye, Mecca, yeah, Mecca senya miye, Mecca, Mecca senya miye, na se wuferia. Nyamiye Mecca, my God. Mecca say Nyamiye Mecca. Mecca say Nyamiye Mecca. Hey, Mecca say Nyamiye Midye Mecca. Oh, Mecca say Nyasuye. Our media Mecca say Yesu. Can we sing this? Say Mecca, say Yesu yo. Ao media Mecca, say Yesu. Na say wuferia Mecca. Oh, ao media Mecca. Say Mecca, say wuferia Mecca. Oh, say Yesu ye. Ao media Mecca. Say Yesu ye. Oh, with Yamaka. Mami, let's go. Oh, Grandma, Bidi Moja. Yeti Minyaku, Ebio, with Yamaka, Yina, Mami. Jesus, with Yamaka, Yina, Mami. Oh, Grandma, Bidi Moja. Yeti Minyaku, Ebio. Yamaka ina mami. Then let's do this. Ossi we bu mi ponchire. Now wa mama fami uedi. Fa udie ni aniche. Wa mama nyanu onimo. Oh Jesus. Fa udie free kuaso. My this one true ye. Minya abun sama kwebio. Minya mayo nyami ni bakwe bubu mi ponchre. Na wa mama fami uedi. Oh, fa udie ni ani. We are free. Oh Jesus, the family free kwaso. Madiswa true. Minya obunsa makwebyo. Mayo nyami. Dada miya udyo. Miya udi. Mira Yesue. Dada nara. Miya udi. Namaku marito nyomse. And yo nyamke. Oh, da 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 da. Me, yeah, woody. Mira, mira, yes, way. Da denny nara. Me, yeah, woody. Makumari to you, say. And yo, yam, and yo, yam, yam, yeah, ma, was so sorrow. Oh, and yo, yam, oh, yam, yeah, ma, was so. Let's do it again. And yo, yam, yam, yeah, ma, was so. Hallelujah, and you, Nyamka, my God, and you, Nyamka, hey, and you, Nyamka, Nyamye, Mama, was so, oh, Wama, me kuma, Tommy, yam, eh, Radi, Wama, me suma, sevine, eh, Radi. Yes, Cristo, Betty, what she.
The Ghana Traditional Council, on behalf of the entire Ghana state, announces the annual ban on drumming and noise making as part of the sacred rites leading to the Homo Festival.
Ghana mamu, Timfe anali, Apesin, Imlai Niko, Wogma Dumo, Wongme, Wokusuni, Wokabachuni,
The ban across the Ghana state will take effect from Monday, May 12th to Thursday, June 12th, 2025. However, Osu, La, Teshi, Nungwa, Tema, Boom, Pram, and Ningo traditional areas will observe their bans separately, with dates to be announced by their various councils. During this period, all visitors are required to comply with the following regulations. Religious activities to be confined within premises without the use of external loudspeakers, no drumming, clapping, or use of musical instruments in public places, no roadside evangelism or street preaching with loudspeakers. There will be no funeral or burial ceremonies within this period up until the 20th of June 2025. This practice is not only a cultural tradition, but also protected under the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, ensuring the preservation of our customs and identity. A dedicated task force, in collaboration with the Regional Security Council, Metropolitan, Municipal and District Assemblies, as well as the Ghana Police Service, will strictly enforce compliance. We urge all residents, institutions and visitors to respect this sacred tradition as we uphold our cultural heritage and foster social harmony. Nyata, New Manyaba.
Brand new on DSTV. When a nominee to the Supreme Court dies, his family begins to suspect foul play.
Dad knew that he was in trouble.
Hollywood's darkest scandals are exposed in this gripping 6-part documentary series.
You have violence, fraud, homicide.
And a rich and powerful family is thrown into turmoil when a young woman claims to be the owner's illegitimate daughter.
You have another daughter.
Stay connected to everything new on your home of entertainment, DSTV.
Have you ever thought about the work input before a movie comes out? It's a whole lot.
Frema, please. You know my heart belongs to you. You know you're the one destined for me.
And you did that.
The fact that you appeared when you did appear was a divine intervention. This was meant to happen. It was a test of our love.
This week, we bring you a little closer to seeing the work that goes on behind the scenes and help you better appreciate the movies and films you've been watching. To help us do this is one of Ghana's best in the filmmaking industry, Peter Sedufia.
The fun is letting the whole world see a certain narrative through your lenses, you know? Yeah. What I'm telling you is what you believe.
Join Frema Edunyame and Nana Tufo this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt on the Upside Down Show. It's gonna be super exciting. Don't miss it.
Is it the luxurious rooms? Or the serene green surroundings? Is it the tempting swimming pool? Or the classy conference room? Or the cute gift shop? Maybe it's our chef's array of cooking delights. Whichever way, it's all about Cactus Creek. A most respected hotel. 055 039 5007.
Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. Just gone by, Stanley Nate taking us through an amazing time of praise and worship, you can say, right here on Sunday Breakfast. Before that as well, we had a news review segment where we brought to you the big news stories, that's been making rounds the whole of this week up until this morning. Up next is our health conversation, and we are very privileged to have joining us Dr. Kalsum Zakaria Adam, who is a public health practitioner and also a maxillofacial surgeon. She'll tell us a bit more about our topic today. We'll be discussing halitosis, oral infections, all of it and more right here on Sunday Breakfast. But even before we do that, for some reason, it's like everybody's born in the month of May.
I know.
I thought I had exclusivity for the month.
Please.
But let me just use this opportunity to wish a couple of people a happy birthday. And this message says, happy birthday, babe. Hey, Charlie. Wishing you a day filled with love, laughter, and all the favorite things. Stay blessed, and let's meet at the other side. And this coming from Chikata, who works with us here at Channel 1 TV. And CTFM. He says, happy birthday, babe. He doesn't want to add a name, but I'm sure you know yourself. I'm sure it's one stone to kill, but happy birthday.
I have one here. Let me do it quickly. So this is happy, glorious birthday to my G for life. You've been a pillar of my life from day one. You've been my strength, baby. You are such an amazing soul, and I'm glad to have you. God bless you and keep you safe. I heart you. You heart one. You love him. And this is coming in from our very own Pearl, our director for today. You have any more? Or should we go straight to our topic?
A couple of messages, just very briefly. Happy birthday to Grace Te Sakite. And I'm sure you know where this is coming from. From your children, Benjamin, Sarah, Edmond, Edwin, George, and Daniel Sakite of the City Newsroom. Charlie, quite a battalion. Benjamin, Sarah, Edmond, Edwin, George, and Daniel Sakite. They say, we see you, we honor you, and we are proud to be yours. We wish you long life, good health, and prosperity. Thank you for being the heartbeat of our family. Happy birthday, Mama. And this coming from your children, Benjamin, Sarah, Edmond, Edwin, George, and Daniel Sakite. To Grace Te Sakite, oh, Charlie, have a happy birthday. And finally, if you don't have any, also happy birthday to Nana Kwesi Cranton. He's a major guy. Family, friend, brother, everything and more. I wish you a very happy birthday. I hope you have the best birthday yet. And like I said to you, may the grace of God, continually abound. And of course, also to Phoebe Osei, who is a church member, you're celebrating your birthday today. Much love to you. Happy birthday. But I join in the one you
I was about to say, I forgot to join in it.
I attach myself.
All of us here at Channel 1 are wishing
tie myself to
Nana
the birthday
a happy birthday. As your co-side chick, actually main side chick, I wish you happy birthday.
Cross it. Ezekiel is.
But today we're talking about Ezekiel is
I just wanted to say that he's a good man. You know, we've worked with him before.
Yes, we have.
You know, and he's a really, really amazing guy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Doc, we are sorry for
taking some of your time, but we had to do it. We're talking about halitosis. If you have any messages that you'd like to share, send it to the WhatsApp number 0204-447-033, 0204-447-033. Alternatively, you can go on our social media platforms and send it to with the hashtag Sunday Breakfast, and we'll read it here on the show for you. So talking about halitosis. What causes it? What is it?
Okay, so halitosis, I'm sure a lot of people are not familiar with that word.
Okay,
it's a medical term. Yeah. It's a medical term for common bad breath. So there are people, I'm sure a lot more people may be asking, bad breath, there are times that you wake up in the morning and you have bad breath. Is that what we are talking about? Or is there a different bad breath that we are talking about? So yes, bad breath, there are two major causes or two major types of bad breath. You have the physiological one. Anytime you hear physiological, it has to do with something that happens normally as part of your living process. Okay, so you haven't slept for about 8 hours, 6 hours, that would have given. And with the fact that a lot of people don't like having to do their evening brushing, okay, so when you wake up, there would have been that 6 hours or 8 hours of some putrefaction of some remnant of food in the mouth, and then that is what gives you the physiological halitosis. But you and I know that most of the time when you wake up in the morning, you do your oral hygiene in the morning, so that takes it away. But the one we are going to focus on today is the persistent halitosis, which is pathological. So when I say persistent, it means that throughout the day, not only associated with early mornings, but within the day, you tend to have bad breath. And then also the fact that possibly a third person may have told you that you have halitosis. Okay, so that makes it pathological. And there are so many causes of the pathological halitosis. We have three major types. We have one which we call halitophobia, then we have pseudo-halitosis or false halitosis, and then we have the true halitosis itself. So three major types, and you need to be able to tell the difference. So when we say pseudo-halitosis is false halitosis. It's likely that this particular patient or this particular person feels that, oh, I have bad breath. Or anytime I walk past people, people tend to behave differently towards me. So it's likely that they are actually talking about me, or it's likely that they are saying that I have halitosis. So that's a false one. And then halitophobia is, yes, the patient has had halitosis before and was diagnosed in the hospital and was treated for it. But after treatment, the patient still has that psychological thoughts that he or she still has halitosis. Okay, and then the true halitosis. And the true halitosis is, yes, truly the patient has bad breath. And there are varied causes of true halitosis. So we'll start with the 90% of it. The 90% of it is from the mouth. So you having food debris, remnants within the mouth, the tongue itself. People brush, but they don't clean their tongue. So when people bring out their tongue, you see that there's this whitish coat of food debris. I mean, over a very long time, you know, that has stained the tongue. And then also, they are not into the habit of flossing in between their teeth. I always say that when you brush your teeth without flossing, it's just like taking your shower and then leaving your armpits and not cleaning your armpits, you know?
I like that.
It's just like that.
Then 50% of Ghanaians are in trouble.
They are in trouble because they don't like, it's not something that
taught.
people like to do. So that's what I always liken it to. And so that's the 90% coming from the mouth. And then there are other causes of halitosis that could also come from your sinuses. Okay, so you having chronic sinus infection. So sinuses are spaces within your head. So you have different sinuses. You have the maxillary sinuses, which are found here just below the eye. And then you also have your ethmoidal sinuses, you have your sphenoidal sinuses, all of them. If you do have some chronic infection within these air-filled spaces within the head, which is chronic, that can also predispose you to getting bad breath. The other thing too could be that there could be certain systemic conditions that are happening, either your liver, or it's within the kidneys, or it's even within your stomach. All of these can also predispose you to getting halitosis. And then also dry mouth for a very long time. So saliva in itself, when it's wet, doesn't have a bad breath, a bad smell rather. But then when it dries off, you tend to have that smell. So people who, and there are so many causes of dry mouth. We can start with drugs. There are certain medications that people are taking for systemic conditions that can lead to xerostomia or dryness of the mouth. So some of these medications could be antihistamines. You are taking antihistamines for a very long time. That can predispose you to getting dry mouth. Another thing could be that you are taking certain medications like diuretics. Okay, and these diuretics can also affect the salivary glands and then give you this dry mouth that we are talking about. Another could be that people tend not to take in a lot of water. So they are dehydrated generally, okay? And that can also predispose them to getting bad breath. But the main problem with halitosis is the accumulated plaque coupled with food debris around the mouth and its oral structures. And this can predispose you to getting certain bacteria that can act on these and then tend to give you that putrefying smell that is perceived by others. And it is actually a very important topic to discuss because it has psychological implications, a whole lot of psychological implications where people tend to, because if it is not treated, if it's not diagnosed and treated properly, see that some people may even say that now they tend to have very low self-esteem to the extent that they don't want to talk in public. There's something we call social isolation. They isolate themselves. They don't want to be in gatherings. They don't want to be in social events where you have a lot of people in there. So they tend to call into themselves and then they isolate themselves, and that is not too healthy for an individual. Another thing is, we know we are social people. In our daily interpersonal relationship with maybe our significant other, that could also be a major problem that can even lead to people separating when it comes to even marriages.
I know a story like that. And you know the person too.
I do.
Yeah, there was a whole book written after his separation with his wife, and apparently at one point in their relationship, among other issues, the spouse accused the other partner of
halitosis. Yeah. It is actually a very sensitive topic, a very huge topic that needs to be. I mean, once you feel that you have it, you should have it treated, because some people may not take it lightly at all, and it can cause huge problems.
Yeah, once it affects like
within the
self-esteem,
family,
confidence, all of those things.
You mentioned plaque. Can we sit at home and get rid of plaque, or do we have to go to the hospital?
Okay, so plaque is the beginning part of, let's say when you clean your teeth in the mornings, you get rid of everything on the teeth surfaces. That's if you effectively clean. Okay, now after few seconds to some minutes, there's something we call a biofilm that forms. It's very clear, it's transparent. You won't be able to see it with your naked eyes. but it's a biofilm that forms around all the teeth surfaces that you have cleaned. Now, as you go through the day, you eat, you drink, you do all of these things, this biofilm now tends to pick up some of these food that you have eaten, some of these drinks that you have eaten, and then it stains it. And then that is how the plaque starts to develop, and then it develops and it becomes calcified with time. Okay, so plaque is a cheesy, if you ask me, early in the morning, if you want to see plaque, and you use maybe something, just an equipment to scrape the surfaces of your teeth, you notice there's this cheesy-like material that is plaque. So that is the beginning stage of formation of the plaque. Now, it is assumed that your daily cleaning should get rid of this plaque. But then if you don't effectively clean it off, it means that it will get calcified. So how does it get calcified? It gets calcified by when you have, so you know inside your mouth, every time it's moist. What keeps it moist is your saliva. Your saliva, one of the main constituents of saliva is calcium. And we know calcium in our bones, calcium in any other hard tissue, strengthens it and makes it hard. So now when you have the plaque, the cheesy material on the teeth surfaces, and then you also have saliva around it, now the calcium within the saliva would then precipitate out and then attach itself to this cheesy-like material, and then it hardens. When it hardens, then it's called calculus. So sometimes when people open their mouth, you see this grayish. It has different colors. So it's either it looks grayish, or it looks orange-like or creamish around the necks of their teeth. Okay, so that is calculus. But this calculus also predisposes you to getting more plaque forming, because it is not as smooth as your teeth surfaces. It is very rough. So once, it's just like you're scrubbing a floor. If it is smooth and then is smooth, it's very easy to clean. Okay, but then once you have some patchy areas or you have some rough areas, it makes that area much more retentive to dirt. So then the calculus that has matured is then another secondary plaque retentive surface, where now plaque can actually adhere more, and it becomes much more difficult for you to clean with your regular cleaning. So you would have to go and have professional cleaning done at least every 6 months, so that you can get rid of all of that plaque and calculus. And mind you, it doesn't only happen just around the surfaces of the teeth, though you see it at the necks of the teeth, but then it goes beyond that. It's below the gum lines as well. So it starts from below the gum lines, and then it grows all the way, and then you start seeing it's visible in the mouth.
Oh, wow.
So it needs to be cleaned with a special instrument that can be done at the clinic.
I see tonsil stones. Are they, can they cause halitosis, and what are they in the first place?
So tonsil stones are usually stones. So you can see from the diagram, there's this whitish, they look whitish or creamish sometimes, just entrapped within the crypts or within certain pockets in your tonsils. Okay, so these are tonsil stones, or we call them tonsilloliths. So a stone that has formed within the tonsil. Now, your tonsils are just lymphoid tissue that helps to boost your immunity. It helps to trap certain bacteria and all of that. Now, these tonsil stones, the constituent of these tonsil stones are basically some food debris, remnants of food within your mouth that has been entrapped within these tonsils. Okay, so these are your palatine tonsils. We have different types of tonsils within the mouth. You have your palatine tonsils that are associated with the palate, Then you have the pharyngeal ones that are at the side that you can see. Then you have the ones too that are related to the tongue. We call them the lingual tonsils, and there are others too that are related to the eustachian tube that we call the tubal ones. Okay, so basically you are seeing the pharyngeal ones and the palatal ones. So now these food debris, remnants of these food debris, together with bacteria, the research has shown that you have about 700 and over bacteria in the mouth. So some bacteria, together with certain dead cells inside the mouth, you know you're always eating, the flesh of the mouth sometimes sheds off. So that is the dead mucosal tissues. Okay, so all of these come together and then they are trapped within the tonsils. And most of the time, it has a very foul smell. And it is one of the causes of untreated and chronic halitosis. So there are times that people do not know. They treat halitosis for a very long time, but they are not getting any cure, or they are not getting any resolution. You should look at the tonsils and be sure that the tonsils do not have stones. These stones tend to have very, very, very foul smell that can give you halitosis in the long run. So you need, so if you do have tonsil stones, if you can recognize it, sometimes it's very easy. When you open the mouth, you're able to see. But some people are not even aware of it. So they may not even be sure that, okay, so this is an abnormality, or this is not supposed to be there. They think that, okay, that is how their tonsils are supposed to be. But any whitish or creamish material that you see within the tonsils at the back of the mouth, it should give you high index of suspicion that you do have some tonsil stones, and it needs to be given some attention. And these tonsil stones can be removed. Okay, there are preventive ways. It can be removed at the hospital. You can actually have the tonsil itself removed at the hospital as well.
It won't affect you in any way?
No, it won't affect you. Most of the time, even some of these tonsils are so large that they don't only cause tonsil stones, but then they tend to cause obstruction. And then they tend to cause even what we call obstructive sleep apnea and what have you. So some of these, most of the time, you see it in kids, and they are removed. So if you do have still some tonsil tissues, some, what's the name? Yes, your tonsils are enlarged to a large extent, and it's trapping these food debris, causing the tonsilloliths. Yes, you should have it treated, and it may be the panacea to your halitosis that you have been trying to treat for a very long time.
Interesting. I saw some research by the CDC in America, but also, spoke or was quite reflective for other Western cultures, and it said that 85% of persons aged between 18 and 44, engaged a lot in oral sex.
Yeah.
Now the question is that the cause for halitosis or mouth odor?
Okay.
Talk us through
about that. Okay. So oral sex, I wouldn't say it's a cause of halitosis directly. I'd rather say that oral sex, because a lot of people, as you have mentioned, a lot of people are engaged in oral sex, it tends to predispose people to getting oral cancers or certain STIs, okay, that can also affect the mouth. And if these cancers, if these sores or these infections are not treated, it can also lead to so many other things, including bad breath. So it's not a direct cause of bad breath, but then whatever that it causes, that is the ulcer or that is the infection, can predispose you to getting halitosis. It can be one of the symptoms that you may end up having. But oral sex, yes, now a lot of people are having oral sex, and that can predispose you to a lot of the infections, especially the viral infections, like HPV infections, which can predispose you to getting some cancers within the mouth, like oropharyngeal cancers and others.
What treatments are available? Because I'm sure just brushing your teeth won't help.
Yes. So it depends on the cause.
Okay.
And we mentioned that the true halitosis, 90% is from the mouth. to oral hygiene instructions, doing your regular cleaning morning and evening is very important. Flossing in between your teeth is also very important. Using over-the-counter mouthwashes is also very important. Those are the things that you can do at home. Now, the other things are you need to have professional cleaning at least 6 monthly, so at least twice in a year, to be able to take care of the calculus that we explained at length, which cannot be taken care of by your regular brushing. Okay, so that's one thing. The other thing is that if it is dehydration, you need to be hydrating as much as possible. If it has something to do with certain other organs within the body, let's say chronic sinusitis, it needs to be treated. If it has to do with your tonsils that we mentioned, the tonsil stones need to be taken out, and if possible, you need to have some tonsillectomy done as well, so that you don't have those tonsils there to trap or to form the tonsilloles. If it has to do, if it's coming from the stomach, and there are certain systemic conditions, all of these need to be treated. So really, the treatment depends on the cause. And as we have mentioned, the causes are varied, but 90% of it is coming from the mouth.
There's a question here. Good morning. I would appreciate it if the doctor could clarify something. Is it true that in most cases of halitosis are caused by problems in the head, such as chronic sinus infections or catarrh? There's someone I know who seems to suffer from chronic catarrh, and when he exhales, there's a strong, unpleasant odor. Could this be linked to his condition? Abbas Harina from Kumeu sent that in.
Yeah, definitely. That is likely the cause of this particular patient's halitosis. So he needs to visit the hospital for further assessment of it. So if you have, as I mentioned, the sinuses are within the face. So your maxillary sinus is the biggest and usually is the one that is affected. Okay, so when you have chronic sinusitis affecting, you won't see it visibly, it's within the skull. So if you do have that infection, chronic sinusitis, where you definitely, most of the time you have chronic cough, catarrh, and all of that, yes, it's likely that is you have some infection within these sinuses that is not drained. So it stays there, it putrefies, and then eventually end up having the halitosis that we are talking about. So this patient needs to be seen as soon as possible and then treated.
All right.
Amazing. Doc, it's always a pleasure having you.
Thank you too.
Thank you for this.
Yeah.
The rest I'll say off air. I'll say off air. All right, so that's all time we'll last for yet another really insightful conversation on halitosis and also oral infections, and very importantly, ending with how you can guard yourself against this, condition. We'll take a break. When we are back, we look at the rather, distressing story of undocumented migrants, who are posing a really significant challenge on our major streets. The good news is they've been taken off them, but really, how sustainable is this? We'll be finding out more on this particular developing story right after this break. Don't go away. Welcome back. This is Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. Myself, Jude Duncan, and of course, Eno Safo. We just finished the conversation with Dr. Kalsum Zakaria Adam, who is a public health practitioner and also a maxillofacial surgeon, taking us through a conversation on halitosis, oral infections will be up on our YouTube channel, Channel 1 TV. Go there, go watch for yourself if you missed any part of the discussion. But for now, we shift focus to some social issues, really, that got a lot of people talking for some time up until this week on Friday morning, right? And we are privileged to have joining us in studio Fred Duho, who is with us in the Channel 1 newsroom.
Are you reading my name from the screen?
No, my screen is off. No, my screen is off. My screen is off. Yeah.
Struggling to get my name from the screen.
I know you very
well. I know it's looking so colorful this morning.
Thank you. I tried.
So I tried. So beautiful this morning.
Thank you.
And it's so effortless, you know.
You also want the compliments.
No,
I like the tie.
Yeah, the tie is very nice. Jude's tie is very nice.
Thank you. But it's our end.
Jude's tie is very nice.
Very nice.
Fred, how are you doing? I like your tie as well.
Thank you. I need to get that plug and
Fred do. I like the way, our news editor Vivian calls you. She has a way she mentioned.
Then you should know what will follow next is that you have to go here.
I'm not part.
I'm sure she has a way she calls you when she wants you to do something as well. When she wants you to do this, she always starts with, no, my dear. And then know that Vivian is about to send you. Anyway, Fred, so how did you chance on that story? Because I don't remember you being assigned to it.
No, well, good morning to our cherished viewers out there. This particular story, I was going to Kolebu actually to do some, or attend to some medical emergencies, and I happened to see the operation take place at under the Obichebi Lamte overpass, and quickly swung into action to do what we are supposed to do. I mean, it's our responsibility to bring the news to our cherished viewers all the time and everything. It's a passion that we cannot really. You see, that's how come some people do leave the journalism field. They go and explore that phase. By the time you realize they are back to the, and that is it. It's natural with all of us. Sometimes, because when you do this, you are getting the results, and also helping to shape public opinion, also helping in the discourse, developmental agenda, everything. You're also contributing, doing your little bit to ensure that Ghana becomes a better place. Largely, the world wouldn't have been this great if there weren't journalists like you and I, bringing the news to our people, informing them, entertaining them every day when they wake up to what is happening around them. So that is about it. I saw this particular operation being undertaken by the Immigration Service, and I had no option than to pull out my phone and start working. So I quickly prompted the office that this is what is happening, and the breakfast team quickly called via Zoom, and we had it on TV live, and that is how come the news spread so quickly. I must admit that there were other, would I say bloggers, or I didn't see any known media person there until we broke the news on our networks.
Okay, so what exactly were they doing to the people?
Well, to delve deeper into this, the Ghana Immigration Service, they were basically trying to clear the streets of beggars. The foreign nationals, the expatriates that have been in this country, I know you would have encountered them a number of times on the streets. They come
towards your car, knock.
And then sometime beg. I was watching the news yesterday where there was this taxi driver who lamented that sometimes they even have this sort of metallic or some, material they used to even scratch your vehicle when they stop by to ask you for money. And so they become literally nuisance on our streets. So I was quite amazed at the level of excitement that greeted this both on site of the operation and on social media. A number of Ghanaians are so happy that these people are being taken out of the country. But that also should have been, would obviously be done with a certain level of compliance to international treaties and protocols, and to ensure that their rights are not necessarily infringed upon. So these people, when they were bringing them in their numbers, we thought we were going to get like some maximum 300. But when they finished with the exercise, it was more than 2,000 people that were gathered from the streets all over the city. But trust me, there was one aspect that I personally thought I would have done better, but under the circumstances, there was nothing I could do. You see, the children have rights that we need to protect. That I admit that we shouldn't have even showed their faces on camera, on TV, or even on social media. But look at the situation. You throw your camera lens on the parents or the adults, but they are with their babies, their kids. You have no option than. So this is what probably I personally, professionally would say wasn't the best on our part, but under the circumstances, this is all we could do to bring the news out to our viewers and listeners, the numerous people who cherish our platforms out there.
They looked extremely happy to be getting onto the bus. So I'm saying they weren't coerced, they weren't forced.
Not at all.
They were spoken to.
And the Ghana Immigration Service, they did a yeoman's job. They did a very great job. The professionalism was that high because they were guiding them, trying to, as much as possible, find a fine balance where those who even wanted to escape the scene were brought in with some level of communication and empathy. So they asked them to join the buses, and then they were all conveyed to the GIS headquarters. Now, the entire operation was such that the smaller pickups go to town, the major streets that we all know, the Kotoka International Airport area, La Paz, everywhere these people are, the small vehicles go there to bring them to a central location, which was the Obichebi Lamte interchange. Then the bus now conveys all of them to the GIS headquarters. Now, I followed up to the GIS headquarters only to see that they've actually erected canopies to shield them from the scorching sun. And then after the profiling, or where they separated the children from the adults, the male from the female, and all those processes were done, they were given breakfast or lunch, I must put it, because it was roughly around 11 to 12 thereabouts, but they were offered cups with, I think, porridge and bread. So they were fed. Then they were also given, they were all under the canopies where they went through the profiling process. Now, what really caught my interest, really, to go beyond what we had reported earlier in the day, I went back at night.
I think I heard you.
To see what really the conditions will be, because we are sure that these people will be, taken out of the country before close of day on Friday. So I went there only to realize that the immigration officials were on the wall, because if you are passing by, you can easily overlook the wall and see the people in there, because they were making noise, the babies were crying, they were feeling uncomfortable. And also, I must commend them, they provided them with mobile toilets. So at least their places of convenience were all catered for.
So it looked to me like a really well-planned, well-structured operation.
But
right?
the point where they didn't really estimate that it could go into the night for them to make the necessary provision for them where to sleep and everything.
Okay, so
yes,
they
were sleeping on the streets.
Yeah.
They were sleeping on the street before you went for them. Maybe they were comfortable where they were. But if you bring them to sort of repatriate them to their country, you would have obviously put in the protocols to ensure that even if it gets late into the night, where should they sleep? And those preparations should have been made. So when I went back at night, I realized that they were all in the yard on the bare ground. No canopy, the canopies were not on them any longer. There were no tents for them to sleep in, and all of them were lying down. There's no light. There was no light there actually. And that even makes it quite difficult. So my question was, assuming there is any what was the name, snake or any
scorpion
or anything that would harm them, that would have been so easy, and it would have brought a certain level of emergency to this whole operation. So
I assume that they probably didn't anticipate the numbers.
The
and
numbers
so
are quite
they didn't think they go into the night like
Exactly,
you said.
exactly.
They probably
But I
thought
was
that
so
maybe
glad
by 4
to
5 they would be done
watch
and send them on their
Yeah,
way.
I was so glad yesterday to see them on buses being conveyed out of the country. And from Samuel Akom's report, it is obvious that now the streets or the major places that they find solace, those places are now cleared and they are not there. We just pray that they don't return.
Do you know which
immediately.
country they were being sent to, or majority of them came from?
We've not had that official communication yet.
Okay.
The superintendent of, which is the head of the PR unit of the Ghana Immigration Service, said he was going to communicate that to us later. But as it stands now, we do not know which countries they've taken them to. But
I spoke to the
we are
director.
told most of them are going to Niger also.
Yeah. So I spoke with the director for the Accra Passport Office. You know, they have a direct role to play in this, in that they liaise with embassies, you know, to account for some of these undocumented migrants. And he mentioned to me in that interview that, of course, they were from Chad, they were from Niger, some were even from Togo, but in smaller numbers. And there was also some from Mali in there as well. But they were going to put together a comprehensive breakdown of their nationalities. But Fred, I wanted to ask you a question Sandra posed to you on radio the other time. You travel a lot within the sub-region, right? In the past month, you've been to, but for different reasons. But yeah, I mean, talk to us about how difficult or easy it is really for these migrants to be able to go in and out of the country, because we know that there's an ECOWAS treaty that allows for free movement.
Exactly the point I was going to make.
You know, so put it all together for us and talk to us about how really, because I've gone to the Flower border before, and also at Burkina Faso border, and I'm like, what is happening really, right? Because it's really, you know.
So the point here is that with ECOWAS, they have their own probably conventions and treaties and everything they want to sign up to for member countries to adhere to. Then again, you extend that to the African continent, which is the AU, and by extension, the United Nations, which has over 190 countries as membership. When they go for these meetings, there are a number of things they all do agree that if a migrant comes into your country, whether documented or undocumented, what must you do? Looking at the documents, you have to give these people, you have to treat them on individual basis, case by case basis, so that, you don't end up lumping all of them together, and when some of them may have genuine reasons for being in your country. So you have to interview them, interrogate the issues individually, and ensure that you are giving them that fair hearing, giving respect to their rights and everything therein. But in the area of the sub-region, when you talk of the ECOWAS sub-region, you are looking at the fact that we all do agree to free movement of people and goods and services. Don't forget, quite recently, we even have the headquarters of the CFTA right here in Accra. And that tells you that people should be able to cross our borders freely in the name of trade, in the name of work. They can migrate to Ghana to work, and we have a number of foreigners here to work. But you must do so with proper documentation. When you get to the Aflao border, for instance, if I'm going to Lomé or Togo, the immigration on the Ghana side would obviously interrogate me. They would find out where I am heading to, because they need to document the number of people also leaving the shores of Ghana or the borders in every given point in time. So when they are done with you and you get to the Togo side, the Togo officials also have a responsibility to interrogate you. And then that's where they ask you, laissez-passer. Where is your passport or your movement? Sort of, I'm using that literally because I do not know the full meaning of the laissez-passer, but it tells you that what sort of documents are you moving with, the guarantee that when you go, you return back to your country and everything. So, see, the issue has to do with you going through the proper immigration process, medical screening, so that we avert any epidemic or pandemic like we've seen when COVID struck. So, in actual fact, you can move across our borders. What happens on our borders, especially to the eastern border, Togo, is that people are using their unapproved routes, which is the beat.
country.
They just enter into someone's home because your hall is
I think
probably
you found a story like
a
that
story
before,
on that. Somebody's home is in, like your bedroom is in Togo and your hall is in Ghana. We've seen that. It's no joke. We were at the Burkina Faso border when we were on the Heritage Caravan.
Yeah.
Someone is operating a shop. The shop, half of it is in Burkina Faso, half of it is in Ghana. So we have these commonalities among us. We are supposed to dwell as brothers and sisters. But the situation where your presence in another person's country can pose national security threats, can cause a certain level of discomfort and a whole lot of factors.
Even safety, right?
Safety and everything. Wow. They would have to take a lot into account to say that, no, we cannot accommodate you in our country.
Okay.
Now, these people, I always say that, see, they are literally fleeing from some conditions in their country. A whole lot of factors.
Fred, hold on for me. Hold on for me. So following the success of this here in Accra, residents in Kumasi are also calling for a similar thing. And our bureau chief for the Middle Belt, Hafiz Tijani, has filed this report.
It's early morning at Akotia Line in Kumasi. Groups of women from Niger and Nigeria prepare to head to the streets, not to trade, but to beg. With children as young as 2 years old in tow, they move to various intersections across the city. 40-year-old Adiza Abdullahi, a mother of 5, says she fled insurgency and hunger in Nigeria and arrived in Ghana 3 months ago. She, like many others, turned to street begging as the only available means of survival.
Ka kamo hanya ka taho yunwa ta sa ka baro kasarka ka zo kuma nan ka samu aiki ba aiki musamman wankau din nan ba a samu sai dai a tafi bara to bara nan shine zamu ci da ƴaƴanmu mu sha da ƴaƴanmu yanzu haka yau ka san Allah in ban da wannan kudin ba ni da kudi tsakani na da Allah.
Adiza is worried about what she says is mistreatment from some Ghanaians and says she's ready to return to her country.
Boko Haram ce ta janyo kabaro kasar ka taho fadace-fadacen da ake. Wani karayar arzikinsa ce ta samu, wani ba abinci. Musamman Nijar din nan ka gani da Najeriya kowa san halin da aka shiga. Babu abinci. Shine kawai yake kawo jama'a. Talauci ne ya saka mu wannan halin.
The presence of these foreign beggars also contributes to growing sanitation issues as open spaces they temporarily occupy become littered and unhygienic. Some community members are not happy.
So, etino yenya yepeni for na so mohwe na kwan a mo fa so e ba ye no omutimi hwama sa kwan na so omukọ.
During a recent meeting with the Ashanti Regional Minister, Interior Minister Mohamed Muntaka Mubarak acknowledged the resurgence and outlined plans to address the situation.
Because of the Sahel challenges, some of them you see them as beggars, but they are not just beggars. They are also picking intelligence for their country. So we are putting in measures. I mean, we set up a committee, right? And we are looking at how to do it in a very swift and humane manner.
Residents are concerned about security issues regarding the presence of these beggars in the country. They want authorities to ensure these beggars are repatriated to their countries. Hafiz Tijani, Channel 1 News, Kumasi, Ashanti Region.
And that report is from Kumasi. But there's good news here because on channel1news.com, the Minister for the Interior, Mohamed Mubarak Muntaka, has confirmed that the government's recent crackdown on street begging in Accra will soon be extended to other regions across Ghana. So that would be a relief for, or happy news for residents in Kumasi and in other regions as well. Fred, let's talk about their living conditions. They're on the street. I see them with babies at their back, and I'm wondering, where are they having sex at? Because if you're living on the street, I don't think that sex or reproduction will be on your mind. So tell us about that.
No, but the mere fact that you're on the street doesn't mean that your feeling is dead.
Now, you're having sex.
No, come on. They have to.
They have to.
They don't have any TV and anything to watch.
So that's their source of entertainment.
But the men in Ghana are doing the most.
You think it's men in Ghana? What about their own men?
Pregnant right here.
Yes. I mean, but they come with men as well.
There are some men
within them
and stuff like that. But we've seen on some occasions where, excuse me to say, mentally challenged persons who are Ghanaians even get pregnant, who get them pregnant. So these people also, I mean, they have feelings to express. So as for the babies and getting pregnant, but their living condition is such that, see, there was a time I was going towards Abose Ukai. And I saw the babies using, their children using a bowl to dish out water from the gutter. And then they were using to wash themselves.
And you see,
that they are really cringed. I'm like,
what's happening?
What?
Yeah, and that is where...
And the gutter is so dirty.
Yeah, I get a point. I get a point. And you see,
she said they are running away from poverty in their country.
And
but to come and live here, is it not the same thing?
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
So it speaks to...
See, the war and everything is one thing... what's the name? Like a bullet from nowhere hits you.
Yeah.
And there's another thing, just being in another country where you can be on the street freely, beg
so it speaks
for people to feed you.
The progress we've made as a country, that they consider the hunger here more tolerable than what is in their home country. And like Fred rightly said, they are fleeing bullets, live bullets, right? And all of that peace of mind they have here in Ghana. But you know, there's some historicity to this challenge we are talking about, right? Because in 1969, right, there was the Aliens Compliance Order. I saw people, when we were on Eyewitness News, say that it's good that it's happening for the first time. There was a lot of people who thought this is the first time.
No, this is not the first time. It's happened before, actually.
Exactly. So in 1969, you know, there was the Aliens Compliance Order. At the time, our population was just about 6 million. But we had in excess of 20% of the population at the time were foreign nationals who had also come into the country for similar reasons, right? So economic reprieve and all of those things. So my challenge right now is that you highlighted it in your report. A lot of them, there's a security concern. There's also the safety, right? And there's also just public order, right? Because they distort traffic, they are just a nuisance. Beyond all that we've seen, what's the next line of action, right? We've sent them back to their country. In your estimations and your interaction with these officials from the Ghana Immigration Service and the Border Control Unit of the Ghana Armed Forces, who we are being told have a role to play in all of this, how do we prevent a future occurrence, right? Because somebody described it as pouring water into a bottle. You know, and the water is just endless. There's a limit to which the bottle can hold the water for it to just... So in your estimation, engaging with the people, how do we just end this once and for all?
Ending it will be a bit difficult. And by that I mean, unless the war stops in their countries, okay, you cannot really predict when the war in this Niger and other neighboring, I mean, if I say war, using that loosely, the total unrest that the people sort of flee from, unless those conditions are quite over in their countries before we can confidently say there is some level of international collaboration going to take place to ensure that they stay in their countries. But as long as there is this economic hardship, there is war, there is conflict in their communities, they will always want to run away from those circumstances. Now, how do they get into Ghana and how do we prevent that? We do not have a wall fenced around us as a country.
We are not Donald Trump. We don't have Trump as president, right?
So,
to build a wall.
And you have so many unauthorized routes they can come in. But if the Ghanaian would be patriotic enough, those in the border communities can be patriotic enough to say that, well, even though I have a house on the borderline, I believe anyone who is a stranger coming in, it is my first responsibility to let the person go and use the main immigration post so that the person is checked. The person is, we ascertain the status of that person. Is the person really fleeing from a certain level of conflict wherever he's coming from? Okay, what are the channels through which the person can get into our country and be well accommodated and given probably some refugee status? So there are a number of things we can do to ensure that when they even come in, we properly regulate their activities. Assuming we're not seeing them on the streets, like the previous government initiated a move to build a KAI training center and everything, which was done. Assuming these were coming in, we want to assume that they are refugees, we can equally camp them somewhere, give them the needed support so that we reintegrate them properly.
Are they refugees or they are illegal migrants?
They are illegal migrants at this point.
So they are not refugees?
Unless you go to the refugee board to declare your status and say that, no, you are running away from some uncomfortable situation in your country, you want to claim that status in Ghana. Okay, then that one, they can also document you and give you the proper court as you deserve. You get it? So if we bring in these people, we should be able to put them under proper systems. One would say, how come the Ghanaian is not satisfied? Yeah, we want to expand more to cater for these people when they come in. No, we are obliged in certain ways by certain conventions that when these people come in, when migrants come in, we give them this level of support that they deserve if they come in through the right channels.
Thank you so much.
In 2010, 3.1 million undocumented migrants resided in Ghana as at that time.
As at that time.
You know,
so sure
and the number have grown. You know, people even feel like this number doesn't really reflect the numbers in terms of its overall, you know.
See, so I personally asked the immigration officer, what next? These are only undocumented migrants. What about those who work at night? And they were like, oh, they once clamped down on their activities, but they are back. To extend
say it in broad terms. It's commercial sex workers, and that is also a nuisance.
At night,
it depends on where.
It depends on where you stand on that divide. But anyway, thank you so much for the work you're doing, Fred. We appreciate your time. We'll be back. We'll be telling you a lot about the Agri Fair. All you need to know when it's happening, where it's happening, what you need to do, and why you need to be there. Stay with us.
So much love in the air.
What are we looking at? Thank you guys for joining us on this unforgettable night.
Paw Patrol is on.
It's Max Verstappen in the lead. The megastar is here. Absolutely sensational.
Let's go!
Just taking a trip down memory lane.
Get unbelievable entertainment that is unbelievably easy to own. Get and stay connected to DSTV.
Colorectal cancer is highly preventable and curable. Have you attained 45 years and older? Notice blood in your stool, a family history of cancer? Then don't wait to have a colonoscopy. Early detection of cancer and effective treatment save lives.
There are weak points in the development and spread of cancers of the large bowel that we have control over to stop, to reduce the incidence and deaths from these cancers. Achieving this success depends on you and me. We are fully prepared. What about you?
Visit Mintuba Hospital and Coloproctology Center today or call us. Mintuba Hospital, first Ghana Colorectal Center, in to serve a peculiar health need.
Yo fam, it's that time again. Finals. Oh yeah. Go TV. Let's go. Go TV. This is too big.
The Premier League, La Liga, Champions League, FA Cup, Europa, and more. Finals. Stay connected to catch all the biggest football finals with your best football friend. Go TV. Love it.
You're welcome back to Sunday Breakfast on Channel 1 TV. Joining us for the Agri-Fair discussion is the one, the only, Firma Edunyame, Head of Events and Partnerships here at Channel 1 TV. Hi, Firma.
Hi, Eno.
It's been a while. You came once and then you abandoned us.
Well, until I get the invite, this is a very prestigious platform. You can't just be crashing.
Right?
Yes, I remember Heritage Caravan here.
Heritage Caravan was one other one. Bringing your...
No, it's an honor to be here.
It's an honor to have you on our show.
The dress is popping, girl.
Thank you.
And Judy, I say, fine package. No, I co-sign that because Miss me remember too.
It's not easy, but we are trying, We are trying.
No, we are trying.
We are also trying.
To deal with
I'm
people,
telling you,
we are trying.
Sometimes some of the things I have to let go. I'm telling you.
This is my first child, my pet boy.
No, but it's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. If you be a great mom,
a
they are
boy
fantastic.
Mom. Yeah.
Proudly. Yes. You'll love it. You'll love your boys, trust me.
I listened to you with and you were talking about the fact that your son is also a Mayborn, and you were proud to associate with Mayborns.
Oh no, you should give us something.
So it's funny because all of us on the set then means that we are all Mayborns. We are part of the fraternity.
Well, I don't see how you connect.
No, I'm actually a Mayborn.
Oh yeah, when is your birthday?
So I celebrated my birthday with a
yes, you did.
You did, so yeah. I was listening when you were on his case the whole time, and I'm like, oh, Freba, like really, just cool down.
We are still searching. We touch lights in the sun. We are looking for.
We'll find the person soon enough.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We're talking about Agri-Fair. Where did the whole idea and the concept come from? Channel 1 for.
Yeah, when you listen to the CBS, there's this conversation about agriculture, about being self-sufficient as a nation. I mean, they've been on and on and on and on, and for us, we always say that there's more to what we do than just being a media house, all right? Now, there are certain things that we talk about. You also have a role to play. So when you look at some of the things we do, organizing roundtable discussions, organizing various fora, to discuss issues of national interest, and that is where Agri-Fair came from. In times past, we've done the campaign, for local rice. Yeah. We've done so much. We've done Made in Ghana Fairs. This is Ghana. We've done Eating What We Grow, indigenous meals from Ghana with a back to Village Food Festival. And we also know the difficulties that all the various arms in agriculture also have. The farmers, the challenge of transporting their goods or their produce from their farms to the marketplaces or for them to find their way to the consuming tables. And we also see the challenge that consumers also face, in purchasing some of these produce. Now, I always say that usually the people who benefit the most are those who don't have farms. The middlemen.
Yes.
They've not cultivated anything, they've not grown anything, but they are cashing in, because they have the means to go get these produce from the hinterlands, transport them, and come and sell them to us at exorbitant prices.
By 60 cedis.
Can you imagine? Meanwhile, of our Hobel 20 Ghana, do you get it? So cashing in at the expense of the farmer who toils and ensure that they produce these things for us. So Agri-Fair is an exhibition and a sales. Okay, so we are looking at how to connect the farmer directly to the consumer. No middlemen are required. So if you are into cassava cultivation, yam, rice, livestock, poultry, whatever it is, we are providing you with a platform to carry all your produce and then just get consumers to come in, to just buy direct from source. And so for the good thing about that is for those of us who patronize these things, it also means that we are going to be buying them at farm gate prices. So we don't have to go through a middle person to get what we need. So we are just buying directly. And so you know that is going to be at very, very affordable prices. We need to solve a problem, and this is what we are doing with AgriFair.
Interesting. For me, I like the fact that beyond being able to sell at farm gate prices, you're also going to offer like some high-level discussions on how to scale. For example, if you're a business taking advantage of, agri-business opportunities.
Exactly.
I want to talk to us briefly about what other things beyond the buying and selling, will be engaged in at the Agri-Fair.
So we will have a business clinic, all right? Okay. So we have experts coming in. So if you are into farming, you want to scale up, like you mentioned, we are going to bring in the experts to talk to you on how to do that, all the technicalities in farming. And then sometimes access to funding is also a real challenge. Yeah. So we have, when you see our sponsors, that we have DBG coming, we have Exim Bank coming, and so we also have Legacy Crop as well. So those who also want to go into agriculture, look, I think we've come to a stage in our lives where we should know that agriculture has moved on, or farming has moved on from carrying Wellington boots and cutlasses and hoes and going in there. There are mechanized farming that we can do, and so we should be considering,
it's
going
a
to
3.4 trillion,
absolutely,
economy.
Exactly.
And I'm referring to just agribusiness alone,
yes.
right? So business opportunities within the agricultural sector. In 2024, it was pegged at 3.4 trillion, and it's expected to rise to 4.4 trillion by 2032. So there's enormous potential.
So much.
In a manner that I feel like even Ghanaian, despite our land and everything, we are not taking advantage of. Hence the need for this.
Exactly, and Back to Your Village Food Festival has taught us that we love our meals, we love our indigenous meals. So I'm looking at, sometimes you think of farming and then you think of going to the land yourself, tilting it and doing all that. But really, you don't have to do that. You can be that businessman who sits back, get your people, get on there, get experts to let you know what you have to do, go through the entire chain, packaging staff. Look at what NAC is doing, Crunchies, okay? Yeah. I mean, packaging stuff, now we love our plantain chips, we love all these things, go into all the CSIRs are doing. We have, look, a lot of people going into agriculture. What if having agriculture as a second source of income? You understand? Because so I think this is a great opportunity, and we are excited that we are leading this conversation. In as much as we are practicing, is also a national conversation that needs to be had, because we are spending so much, on imports. Now we are very excited about the dollar, the cedi appreciating and all that. But when we zoom in proper into all the imports and all, can we be singing the same thing? We need to find a solution to this. If for nothing at all, what we are eating, we should be able to produce it. It's quite embarrassing that we are importing onions and stuff like that, and force chicken and force everything. You understand? We can't do that. We are wearing second-hand clothes and we are eating second-hand chicken. What wrong have we done?
Aside the buying, the selling, and the business clinics, are we going to be able to taste some of the things?
Would you meet? Would you meet? I always say that for Channel One, we work so hard and we party so hard. You understand? And it has to go hand in hand. Ejuma Kakra and Ijebebre, Ejuma Kakra. So of course we can't be selling goats and cows and chicken and not taste them. It's not possible. You understand? So of course there'll be kebabs, crying for us, our attention, and from all the meat that will be presented. So chicken, the guinea fowls, the goats, the rabbits, the cow, everything. Yesterday on CBS, I heard a lot of people asking, what about cats? And they said, no, for the purposes of agri-fair, cats are pets. I said, Debbie.
But someone would argue that a rabbit is also a pet too.
No, but my issue is, You don't own a mansion, you want pets. No.
Well, you need to own a mansion before you can have a pet.
There's certain lifestyles that you have to reach a certain place. Master, the pet alone is another issue. It's like
a whole lot of money.
Child.
Yes.
This tangent time, we will start adding all sorts of things to it.
Add.
So you have to be you have to be careful.
No, because
some meat we can't supply this, so we can't cross that line. But it's interesting.
No, but the beautiful thing is, whatever meat we are eating, we will see the
animal there.
The
so if you can't sell the animal there, don't come
and ask for it. Simple.
So if you've not seen cats, if you've not seen them, come and ask us. All right. But
I'll be looking forward to that the catfish, pepper thing.
Yes. Now catfish has huge market. It's really raining.
Frema, talk to us about the venue, right? For the first time in my adult life, I see City doing something. I may be wrong. At the Ifua Sutherland Park, right? Of all places, why there? And what was the idea behind it?
Right, so we decided to go to the Ifua Sutherland Children's Park because of the nature of the program that we are having, the Agri-Fair. This is practically a market, and we should have enough space to exhibit everything, enough space for you to go around to shop.
I think the food festival taught us a lot.
Pretty much, but with a food festival, we've just brought the ingredients and we are preparing the food, so you don't really need that huge space. Although a lot of people have argued that even walking around becomes challenging, that will be looked at. But this, if we are bringing goats, goats are kind of very stubborn. If goats were human beings, I'm sure they would call Mensa.
I take strong exceptions. And I demand an unqualified apology on behalf of all Mensa, including the venerable Mensa Tamil.
I don't think about that.
You didn't even mention Atta Mensa.
Even he are pardon because his Mensa is like the Mensa surname, right? So Frema, clearly you are out of order.
Makeni, Irish rock. You know how it is when you are fighting with an adult and you say that, my uncle when you go, say everything you want to say. When they ask you to apologize, not even like you apologize, I retract and apologize reservedly. So we are bringing the goats, we are bringing the sheep. Don't forget that it is an exhibition. So we are bringing everything that we have. And this is also to promote the idea of, enjoying fresh produce. So we have the animals, the livestock there. We have the fresh produce, the vegetables, the cassava, the rice, the maize. I mean, everything, the fruits, everything. We are buying them fresh. If for nothing at all, you know that for this, you can just buy it fresh and go and store it in your freezers, all right? You know that at least you can count. Because we are eating certain stuff from places that we don't even know how long they've been in the freezers before getting to us, all right? So this is a way of letting us know that we have the people who are producing, the farmers, and we have those who are also very much interested in eating organic meals. So we are putting them together. Now, beyond this, we also want people to carry the relationship beyond just the 3 days of the Agri-Fair.
Yeah. So there should be a lot of partnerships and all of that.
Absolutely. So now if you are a restaurant, if you are a hotel, you know that I can source my meat, I can source my local produce for these people. We need to create that enabling environment to create that businesses for the farmers because we need to support them.
If you ask me, I think that's even like a big part of what all this is about, right? Because the next time people don't have to go through middlemen again in sourcing their stuff. But interesting, when Bernard discussed this on radio the other time, he mentioned that he went with you to the National Service to go and do a couple of meetings. And I know they have a really huge farm. Are you, are they coming?
Oh, National Service is coming. They are bringing their birds, they are bringing their farm produce, their crops and stuff that they do. They are bringing everything. Look, yesterday, I wanted to get chicken from National Service. We couldn't even get some.
It was finished.
Not finished, but the people. Okay. So this means that the market is
there. The demand is obviously there.
But sometimes, as I've mentioned, is the difficulty and the stress of going through, middlemen, having to go to the market to get all that. We always say that the local produce are quite expensive. But we've also learned that we add on to making the whole thing expensive because something that you did not grow, you are not planting. You want to cash in to be able to, get your annual revenue from just one sale. And this is what is creating the price hike. Sometimes, there are other factors and indicators, but we are just giving the platform to our farmers to bring everything that you are producing. If you are a middleman, we have a lot of people calling us to register, but they are into processing of food, they are into packaging of food, they buy from the local farmers and then they process them. This is not your exhibition. Your exhibition will come in August. This is Ghana, where you can bring all your packaged stuff as long as it's done in Ghana. But for this, it's really for the farmers. So we want to hear maybe Mensa Farms, Safo Farms, this, you know. So we want to promote our farmers and promote what they do.
Is there more room for exhibitors, and is it free for us to come in?
Absolutely. You know, for us, when we have our events, patrons come in for free. Okamakole, you're free. So coming to the Agri Fair is also free. Just bring your basket, just bring your money, come and shop and go and keep them in the fridge, you know. Man shall not live by just bags and shoes, you know, but sometimes the quality chicken and the quality plantain that you are eating also count. So there's still room for registration. So if you are a farm, if you are into agro stuff, anything, you know, that has to do with the agribusiness, you are invited to be part of the Agri Fair. And it's happening on the 20th to the 22nd of June. 20th to 22nd of June. You realize this is a 3-day event?
Yes.
So
the
starting
first time
Friday.
ever, right?
Yes.
Why is that? It starts on a Friday.
Yeah, no, so we just want to give room for people to really be able to do the shopping, for people to exhibit what they have. This is not just something fun we are doing. We really need to solve a certain problem in the country, and this is what we have to do. And we believe that 3 days is enough for people to be able to transport whatever they want to be able to bring, settle down, at least have one full day of, you know, it's quite a lot, because we are getting calls from Volta region, we are getting calls from Northern region, we are getting calls from Ashanti region. So if someone is bringing goods, you know,
you need to give them enough time.
You know,
you have a restraining order. You know, I'll call my counsel. You know,
if someone is bringing goods, you know, all the way from, let's say, Kumasi or from Volta region, bringing their tilapia, their stuff like that. It takes a lot. It's not just like maybe food festival that you just bag your stuff, your ingredients and bring. So we really want people to have enough time to exhibit what they have, and also for those of us who are going to shop to be able to shop enough. You know, market stuff, doing market shopping takes a lot of time. So we need time.
You know,
exactly.
This is so important that we do, also because if you go through the budget, right, agriculture had one of the least budget allocations, right? So 1.5 billion Ghana cedis. If you compare it to what was for government expenditures for salaries, the road fund, district assembly fund, even health, clearly, you know, it looked as though not a lot of plan has gone into. So it's important that as a media platform, we take this very seriously, you know, to highlight its importance. And of course, the job opportunities within the sector. A lot of people don't know the fact that it's not necessarily, you know, if we say the agri sector, for example, it's not necessarily being a farmhand or growing the cattle or the livestock yourself. There are different career opportunities.
Everything is,
you know, so I like that we're also going to highlight,
exactly,
you know, that point. But the biggest highlight for me, or the greatest excitement, all of this, that I get to chew meat. So, I'll not even come here and pretend that.
No. You can't pretend about chewing meat. That's what the meat will chew.
Amazing.
And enough, you know.
Amazing.
And we never do have our events without a bit of entertainment and stuff. So that will also come as well. It's too early, you know, to give everything.
Okay.
If we say everything today, what will we say tomorrow?
Information is
no, remember, you really came today. I'll get people from the former vice president's office to give you a call.
Relax.
So in the words of Rima, if she says everything today,
what will she say tomorrow?
Mensa, you got problem.
Wow. No, but I think this is amazing, right? So kudos to the team. You know, somebody said when we're on radio, that City always delivers, right? Irrespective of like what the event is about. And we have no doubts that we'll go definitely well. We want to also urge support, right? So if you are watching, just make sure you find your way to the Fuad Sutherland Children's Park, right opposite the National Theatre and adjacent Kempinski. Kempinski, right?
Around
Kempinski, yeah. And you know, let's have it. Let's support our own. Really, that's what it's all about.
From are there any numbers to call?
Yes. So please call us on 0205 973 973 0205 973 973.
And are we open for sponsorship? More sponsors?
Absolutely, of course. You know, so the conversation on agriculture concerns everybody. It concerns all of us. You know, this is a basic conversation that we all must be very interested, because whichever sector you find yourself, there's something for you to do in agriculture. Economists are part of agriculture, creatives are part of agriculture, marketers are part of agriculture, the farmers themselves, government, private institutions, corporate Ghana. I mean, this is what makes us agriculture. We are what we eat.
Yeah.
And so we must be very, very interested. All of us must be interested. And we say a special thank you to our sponsors so far, because we know more are coming. So the Ghana Exim Bank, we are very grateful to you. Development Bank Ghana as well. And Legacy Crop Investment Center. We are super, super excited. And we are waiting for the many of you out there who are also coming. This is a project that is being led by Channel 1 TV and City FM, but this should be considered a national project. Somebody has to lead, but we all have to get involved. Amazing. Somebody has to lead, but we all have to get involved. And gladly, we will lead this amazing charge, right? Prema, I have no words for you, really. Thank you for having me. You hear from my lawyers. Wow, so that's all time will allow us for this really important conversation on the Agri Fair that will be happening later this month. And we'll take a quick break. When we are back, that's sports right here on Channel 1 TV Sunday Breakfast. Don't go away.
Hi, friend. Where are we going today?
Just use your imagination.
Go, go, go!
My family is the only thing that matters to me right now.
This is the stuff that Munich dreamed about.
These guys are the best. GoTV's ready to take you from your hometown to roaring stadiums and even on international adventures. So let's go together, from home or on the go with GoTV Stream.
Sounds like a great idea.
GoTV. Love it.
Life is a celebration of moments. Big and small.
The sun is scorching, I'm feeling the heat.
With Piva Drink, every moment becomes a refreshing celebration. From the beach to your home, in every corner of your world, Piva Drink adds a burst of refreshment.
Give me Piva cocktail and tangerine.
Celebrate every moment with Piva Drink. Refreshment for every occasion. Piva Drink, a taste you will love.
P for Piva.
This advert is FDA approved.
It's time for the main event. This is incredible. He has written it, and the dream lives on. I cannot believe it.
Stay connected to DSTV this April and May and get all the football finals you want.
Calling all farmers, agribusinesses, and innovators, this is your chance to shine. Channel 1 TV invites you to exhibit at AgriFair 2025, one of Ghana's largest agriculture exhibitions. From Friday 20th to Sunday the 22nd of June, the A4 Sutherland Children's Park in Accra will come alive with the very best from Ghana's agribusiness sector. Are you a farmer with fresh produce of any kind? Be it crops, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture, or you're a supplier of agro inputs and processing machinery, this is your platform to connect with the world. AgriFair 2025 is more than an exhibition. Showcase your fresh produce, share your expertise and experience, and grow your business. So, to all farmers with fresh produce, livestock or poultry, fisheries or aquaculture products, come, sell, network, and expand your business. AgriFair 2025, where culture meets innovation. Register now to secure your spot. Call us on 0205 973 973. Come one, come all. Enjoy the freshest farm produce at unbeatable prices. And treat yourself to sizzling kebabs made from beef, mutton, pork, chicken, and more. Great taste, great value. Don't miss out. The AgriFair 2025 is powered by Channel 1 TV with support from 97.3 CDFM and is proudly sponsored by Exim Bank, Legacy Crop Improvement Center, and Development Bank Ghana. Have you ever thought about the work input before a movie comes out? It's a whole lot.
Frema, please. You know my heart belongs to you. You know you're the one destined for me.
And you did that.
The fact that you appeared when you did appear was a divine intervention. This was meant to happen. It was a test of our love.
This week, we bring you a little closer to seeing the work that goes on behind the scenes and help you better appreciate the movies and films you've been watching. To help us do this is one of Ghana's best in the filmmaking industry, Peter Sedufia.
The fun is letting the whole world see a certain narrative through your lenses, you know? Yeah. What I'm telling you is what you believe.
Join Frema Edunyame and Nana Tufo this Sunday at 7 p.m. prompt on the Upside Down Show. It's gonna be super exciting. Don't miss it.
Welcome. It's Play to Aid.
Get ready for the game show where every play has a purpose. Welcome to Play to Aid, the only game show where your knowledge and skill don't just win you prizes, they help change lives.
What sport is considered the most popular in the world?
Every point you earn goes toward real-world support, from school supplies to health kits, clean water to emergency relief. Play smart, play big, Play to Aid. Catch all the action, the drama, and the heat.
Most commonly spoken language in Brazil.
Portuguese. Play to Aid every Sunday at 3:30 p.m. only on Channel 1 TV.
Edna, let's begin.
The Play to Aid game show is proudly sponsored by Tang Palace, Giraffe Island, and VVIP.
You're welcome back to Sunday Breakfast right here on Channel 1 TV. Joining us for sports is Bernard Abeku-Otri, the birthday boys.
You're welcome to Sunday Breakfast.
How?
Bernard Abeku-Otri. Welcome, guys.
Hey. I'll allow it. How is it that the two of you celebrate on the same day?
Yeah, special. It's magic, you know.
Yeah. How?
It's magic. It's so beautiful.
It's special.
It's beautiful.
You know, 15 is a number that
Oh Lord.
Yeah. You
Judy be trying to say here. Come to manufacture some numerology something. 7 is also a special number.
Yeah, 7 is a special
Nobody
number.
has said
that. May Nankasa is a special. So that means we're all Tauruses.
That's it.
Taurus is not, I don't know, actually, as a Trinidad.
It's a star sign.
Yeah.
I did it.
So
like, stubborn.
Representing the bull, yeah.
You're stubborn.
Yeah, it's a bull. I admit it. It's a bull, so yeah.
It's like,
but I tell you, say this in your ears, eh?
Don't mind her. All right, we're talking sports.
It's great to be here. Look, over this weekend, today in particular, I've got 2 games at the Legon Sports Stadium.
Okay.
First off is the Women's FA Cup. Now, if you follow women's football, and I know it's an advocate for women's football.
Oh, are you?
No, she.
Because I don't understand why the women are doing well.
She was asking why they are not receiving same salaries,
Exactly.
So you're same salary advocate.
Equity.
I think they deserve it. Look,
Equity.
It's the same ball they are
The
kicking.
girls are
if they are
doing
playing
amazing.
90 minutes,
The Black Stars
why
are
not?
shit, and yet they get more money.
Did
I say that on live TV?
Said it on live.
I'm sorry.
Guys, forgive her. She's just,
I'm
passionate about it. That's it's fine. So look, we've got a wide camera on us. So whatever mannerism you put out there, we all
can see.
But look. I think it's good. I've loved the publicity.
Mm-hmm.
They've churned out stats. They've churned out road to the final. They've gone on a tour for interviews. They've brought numbers out that if they are unable to come to your premises, you have a chance to call a coach for an interview or a player. They've gone to the Honorable Minister for Sports and Recreation. I don't see an Accra House of Folk and Kotoko. It's not a final, granted. It's a Category A game. It needs publicity. It needs attention. I've not seen that game, have this kind of publicity the Women's FA Cup and Premier League final is having or have had. This week, it has been a busy week for women's football. And it's Jonina and Faith ladies playing the final of the Women's FA Cup. And look, Jonina have gotten, I always struggle with the lady's name. Atimbila, I've forgotten how the right pronunciation is. But she's in the top scorers for after the semi-finals of the women's MTN Women's FA Cup.
FA Cup.
It is important to know that Jonina is a threat to Faith, but Faith have performed awesome. If you compare their journey also to the finals. Okay. And I know, of course, right behind us, what you see, what I spoke about initially, the stats, the number of games each team has played prior to getting to the finals, and the number of goals scored. Even for the goalkeepers, it's important. One has played 9 games, conceded 6, kept 6 clean sheets. The other has also played for Ampimdako and Police Ladies, respectively. The Police Ladies goalkeeper have also, been imposed 10 times. And conceded 6 and kept 6 clean sheets. This is the kind of final we want for our women's football. I dare say the women's FA Cup or women's football is competitive when you compare it to men's football in this country. You see, the men's football has gotten all of these controversies that surround it. You don't hear. That's why the women's, for example, will have, respect programs and sales. They'll have Malta Guinness, for example, sponsored. And Malta Guinness has been with them for a minute. It tells you what. Yeah. So, that's why they call it the Women's Football Festival. It's a festival that they're having at the Legon Sport. And they've been able to attract the Honorable Minister for Sports and Recreation is going to be there, and other important dignitaries as well.
Who are the favorites?
Then, favorite, I think Jonina will win because of I have to record it. Yeah, Atimbila or the one who scored 5 goals, for Jonina. I think I tip Jonina. Faith are threat to or a force to reckon with, but I have a feel Jonina is going to win the finals of the Women's FA Cup. For the Premier League final. The Premier League final is between the winner of the Northern Zone and the winner of the Southern Zone. It's 2 separate leagues because of where each club is separated. And then the FA would want to look at costing traveling across the country. So it's reduced that for women's football because the capital in women's football. Then again, it's not that it's not a lot. So they've divided into Northern Zone and Southern Zone. So the champions of Northern Zone will be facing the champions of Southern Zone. So Ampimdako ladies up against Police Ladies. From the Southern Zone. So they come together to play, to determine who is the champion. The champion gets a slot to go to the CAF Champions League for women. Yeah, so it's important. It's not like a normal game that has a trophy around it that you just have to go in and win the trophy for keeps. But it's that final that gives you a ticket to go and represent Ghana. We recall Hazakes ladies went the last time, and Pimdakwa ladies themselves have been there. And police ladies would have to produce that magic and the result today. It's produced a number of goals, you know, in the season for when you compare the stats for both zones. Is the final I feel to watch. It's happening at 6 p.m. at the Legon Sports Stadium, and the FA Cup is happening at 3 p.m. Women's football, and I take a lot of time to talk about this because I really see the women doing something. They coordinate themselves properly. They follow the sequence of the game per regulations of the game and code of ethics or conduct, and they produce the kind of game. It's not like the men's game. You see a bit of pulling of a shirt and what have you in there. Of course, but it's not like a dry sort of game where you see somebody trying to kick the ball and kicks the air or something. It's a professional league that they play. So I feel the women are doing something great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Crystal Palace lifts the trophy. Why are you smiling?
It's so sweet after 119 years.
Wow.
If you are the Wembley, this is like Newcastle United winning the League Cup, and I mean this is the best moment to be a player for this football club. Wow. This is the, and you see the celebration. The guy just looks in the air and you know, he has the two, you know, a fist, and it's like, this is it.
He had Efficiency 320 written on his.
What does that say? Efficiency 320? You have a, maybe I can check it out?
You can check it out.
Dude, but you are going to church every other Sunday after this show.
So he should be able to say it from his memory.
He should be able to.
I know a lot of scripture in my head, not all of them.
Not all of
them.
So
which is the one that rarely comes into your mind? I know this is a sports segment, but.
Ephesians 3.
Ephesians 3. Ephesians 3. Look, guys, this is Ephesians 3:20. This is a sports show, but I mean a sports segment, but forgive us. Ephesians 3:20 says what? Now unto him that is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we ask or think, according to the power that's working us. Oh, that's solid.
Yeah. And you know, Ward has been captain for them for many years.
Yeah.
Over 13 years at the club. He's been captain for about 8 of the 13.
Yeah.
You know, and this is his final season. He's going to retire. He's going to leave the club, you know, and this season he has not played a lot of games because of injuries and every other thing. And what a way to leave the club as captain, you know, winning the club, its first trophy.
Yeah, you see the smiles on his face.
And look at Gwen next to him. Like he's just...
Yes, I'm saying. Yeah. Like
he said how many years?
119.
My word.
How many years are we going to live on Earth? Yeah. So, I mean, if you live to see this, that's iconic. Yeah. You can even say maybe the grandfather didn't know what, you know, in their case, something like that.
You know, and for me, it's also how they went about it, beating arguably one of the best teams in the world.
Yeah.
Top 2 or top 3.
Yeah.
You know, they scored an early goal. Man City got a penalty.
And kudos to Mateta.
You know,
he's been through. He nearly gave up on the game because of the kind of injury he went through, where a goalkeeper lifted his stock right into his ear. Becker did that, and it was unintentional. But it's a threatening situation that can get you out of the game because you know your head, the brain is inside and what have you. But this guy came back and says he's calm, and he held on to the ball on that pass and allowed somebody run. I forgot the name of the guy who crossed the ball in for Munoz too. You know, he held on to his run, laid a pass onto Munoz, and then the ball came in. And then look at how cool the defender was. Really marking Eze, but he kept his composure and just slotted the ball. And that should win you a trophy. And it did that, exactly.
What all went wrong for Manchester City? Because everybody tipped them to win this particular game.
They've not been there this season. I feel that was lingering on their minds going into this game. And especially facing underdogs always is difficult. And they pushed themselves a notch higher. They played better than they did against United the last time out in the Cup final. And the manager said they did well. They pushed themselves. Look, what's the name of the goalkeeper? Dean Henderson, right? Yeah. He saved the penalty from... why am I forgetting a lot of names today? He saved the penalty... You know,
during the game.
Haaland has played. They're doing the game.
And Mamouche.
You know, saved the penalty from Umar Mamouche. because Alan has played 7 of those penalties in time past and missed 4. He didn't want to go into the picture again on that final day to say that, look, this is it. But it made that manager right behind us suffer because this season.
End for him?
He signed a contract extension, so he's going to be around.
I fear there's going to be a lot of suffering. Hi, good morning, OJ. But look, and Freema as well. But look, this is painful. He saved another shot from Doku, okay, and it was all about. And I wasn't surprised he was the goalkeeper. He was the man of the match because he really put himself into this game, and then he gave a yeoman performance. Yeah, and then.
Welcome to Adoration on Channel 1 TV. This is the only show on TV that allows you to draw closer to God through worship and the Word. On Adoration, you can expect this one thing, that we're going to bring you stirring music that uplifts your faith, dynamic guest interviews with worship leaders from across the country, the globe even. So as we bring you worship today, just stay tuned, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break, and I'll introduce to you who's leading us in worship today. My name is Edna Bright Davis. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Adoration on Channel 1 TV. Now, today we're going to have spirit-filled worship led by a group whose name is synonymous with worship. We have here, leading us in worship for the first time on Adoration, Pastor Yao Inchidazi and the Harvest Gospel Choir.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you on Adoration. Pastor Yao, how are you?
God's grace, I'm fine.
Well, I mean, the only time I'm this close to you on stage is when? Never, actually. I just see you doing, harvest praise and all that, just leading worship from a distance. So it's great to have you on Adoration.
When I'm not in your office.
Well, we're excited to have you today. Are you ready for us?
Yes, we are.
What should we expect this morning?
Well, we are just expecting that we'll lead you into the throne room of grace, and that you will partake of the blessings of the Lord before
Amen.
you. Yes.
Amen. Let's worship.
Thank you. We want to praise the name of the Lord. We know you know the song, but just join us as we sing it. Oh, Mema, always on time. You can't do no wrong, oh, Mema. You leave the 99 always for the one. Come on, are you ready, choir?